Just in time to serve with your Thanksgiving dinner, Kamala Harris comes out of hiding to serve up word salad.
I know and believe that the best movements that are about progress in our country mean that its leaders, that we are dedicated to the coalition, to bringing people together that seemingly have nothing in common, but have everything in common.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. And may God have mercy on your soul.
And I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
I'm sorry, but is it me or, is she drunk?
And it means so much to me and to Governor Walz that you knocked on doors, you called friends, you called in favors. You said, hey, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office. You put in the time. It was personal for you.
Okay.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. Somebody with the top of the line.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. That's the way that we get the word out that we're here. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Well, after the beatdown she took from Donald Trump just 2 weeks ago, Kamala Harris and her never will be the first dude took off for Hawaii for a little R&R, and now she's back and on a big conference call with donors, supporters, and certain staff people meant to try to inspire to keep up the fight. These videos were not altered. Can't tell, some of it she's reading off of a teleprompter, because, she does that from the heart. Apparently she and her team have reflected nothing on the lack of authenticity on Kamala's part. She serves up word salad, and then, of course, well, she wants to take credit for the amazing thing that they did.
Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion from grassroots supporters alone.
Is that really something to be bragging about, considering you burned through $1.6 billion, that's billion with a B, dollars in just under 4 months, and you're $20 million in debt, and now the DNC is having to lay off almost 2/3 of its entire staff, and they've got GoFundMe pages going, trying to literally financially support the DNC.
Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion from grassroots supporters alone, the most in presidential campaign history. Nearly 8 million donors contributed an average donation of about $56 to fuel our people-powered campaign.
Makes you wonder, what happened to all that money? Was it pocketed? Was it just blown? Was it just in the hands of amateur hour who didn't have a clue what to do? Chris Cuomo asked that question of John Morgan, from Florida. Morgan to Morgan, for the people.
So, John, I never heard anything like this before. Do you think somebody stole the money?
Well, maybe legally. I mean, look, to me, you remember the movie Mad Max when everybody's just doing whatever they wanted into the world? That's what happened here. All of a sudden, everybody's got the keys to the candy store. Ad buyers, talent, consultants. There's 100 days to do it. And the money started pouring in, pouring in. Remember this, Chris. It wasn't pouring in for Harris. It was pouring in against Trump. Everybody that was voting and supporting Harris was really voting against Trump. And everybody that was voting for Trump was voting for Trump. So she had all this money coming in. She had all these consultants. I was at the White House for a dinner Friday night, talking to a lot of people. And I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of whispering. There's a lot of names about who got paid this and who got paid that. And a lot of people got rich on the back of donors trying to stop Trump. And I think this disqualifies her forever, forever. If you can't run a campaign, you can't run America.
Permanently disqualified. What an amazing statement, though. Can't run a campaign, you can't run the country. I've been saying that. She had the economic fix to what we're in. Don't forget that Bidenomics, which she loved to brag about, everybody loves Bidenomics. Yes, because we like the runaway inflation, the paying $12 a dozen for eggs at the grocery store, $5 a gallon for gas at the gas pump, not being able to afford a home mortgage. Yes, Bidenomics is amazing. These are the people that broke the economy, and then she was running and campaigning on fixing the economy. You can't take care of your own business. You can't take care of other people's businesses. As many of you know, I am a pastor. And as a pastor, there are some pastoral requirements outlined in Scripture. They're found in the book of 1 Timothy and in the book of Titus. And it says that one of the prerequisites, if you're going to be an elder, a presbyter, a pastor, one who rules well his own home. And it goes on to say, if you can't rule your home, how shall you take care of the house of God? So Kamala couldn't keep her own campaign and those finances straight. How is she actually going to be a help to us? And you heard what John Morgan said. They were like kids turned loose in a candy store. This was $1 billion they burned through in 4 months. How many trillions of dollars does the federal government have flowing that she would have access to? You starting to see where this could have gone? At the same time she was doing this, whatever this call was, her staff was doing a big online deal, and none of them, they take responsibility for nothing. You know, they said she was answering questions, and when she did take these interviews, she was asked dumb questions. Well, you know, it's amazing how the staff is already into revisionist history. They didn't let her answer questions, and they tried to script and control everything. That's why she didn't do Joe Rogan. That's why we found out that the 60 Minutes, they switched around some of her answers to help her out, make her sound a little bit more intelligent than she actually is. That she didn't want to sit down for long interviews that could only be about 20 minutes. Ask Brett Baer, as her people are standing there saying, we're done, we're done, we're done. He asked her 9 questions, and she didn't answer a single one of them. She couldn't answer basic questions like, when did you realize Joe Biden was mentally not with it, not capable of being president? Went on and on and on and on and on. This woman lost for one simple reason, and I want all of you Kamala people that have tuned this way, get ready to make some more meltdown TikTok videos. I'm going to tell you exactly why Kamala got beaten. It's not because she was a woman. It's not because she was a woman of color. She got beat because she's an incompetent moron. Period. She wasn't up to the job. You may not have liked Donald Trump, but that didn't automatically then make Kamala qualified. And that's what nobody's talking about. She was eminently unqualified. When I hear Sonny Holstein over on The View say, this was a strong, decisive woman who was more than capable of being president. No, she's not. Look how she burned through her campaign money. Not to mention, she's never been elected anything. Any of the offices she held in California, she was appointed to. She did manage to get herself elected to Congress, but then again, this is California, and Adam Schiff manages to get himself elected, along with another senile, dementia old bat, Mad Maxine Waters. And they literally put Dianne Feinstein back there, who's rolling around, the halls of Congress in a wheelchair, not knowing her name, where she is, and talking openly that her daughter has power of attorney over everything in her life except her votes on the congressional floor. Yeah. That's who California sends to Washington, D.C. It's starting to seem like it's a problem. So Kamala Harris lost because she's just an incredibly bad candidate. She's a Mr. Potato Head. Looks like a potato. It's plastic. It's hollow. Just like her. She has no soul, no personality. You don't really know anything about her except the scripted points that she repeats ad nauseum. I grew up in a middle class. You did not grow up in a middle class family. Your father was a tenured professor and made bank. Your mother did well. You grew up in an affluent area of Quebec, Canada. Oh, and by the way, you know that the biography she wrote about herself, because, apparently every politician thinks that when they run for office, they have to write a book that nobody's going to read. And she talked so about her grandmother and the influence her grandmother had on her. There's this wonderful picture of a young Kamala with her grandmother, and Candace Owens found out the woman in the picture is not her grandmother, that her grandmother had actually been dead for many years before that picture was ever even taken. But yet Kamala and her publishers pass it off as this is Kamala and Grandma. There is nothing real, genuine, or authentic about this woman. And it takes a real slick politician like a Bill Clinton or a Barack Obama to be able to pull off being completely soulless and unauthentic, and yet convincing the American people that you're a real fake. The American people saw Kamala for what she is, a fake. And they said, we ain't buying it.